You can tell a lot about someone by the way they talk about their travel. But have you ever wondered what your travel says about you? In previous videos, I outlined the differences between travel as escapism and travel as cultural exploration. That there's a line of distinction between the trip to the all-inclusive resort and the trip to Provence, for example. But then in a later video, I also made the comparison between Thomas, who packed an itinerary full of cultural experiences for his trip to Japan, and Noemi, who just decided to spend most of April in Paris. But wait, in the first video I said that travel for cultural exploration was seen as more, and now I'm saying that Thomas's cultural itinerary is somehow less than Noemi just being in Paris? Am I contradicting myself? Which one is it? Well, to examine what's going on here, we first need to understand that there are levels to the concept of distinction, and this one is just focused on travel. And one way to look at travel is as a display of capital. The four kinds of capital being economic, your access to money; social, which is your network; cultural, which is your knowledge and taste; and symbolic, the prestige you get from what you're affiliated with. For this example, we'll focus on two, the first one being cultural capital. Thomas's trip to Japan reads as more cultivated than the Mexico traveler because he can speak to omakase, to Kyoto's temple districts, whereas the Mexico traveler, even if they spent more money, cannot. Thomas has acquired cultural capital, which is legible to a culturally literate audience. But when compared to Noemi, Thomas's acquisition of cultural capital was deliberate and done as an adult. Noemi's was not acquired in the same way. Rather, it's what Bourdieu would call primary habitus. It was absorbed through our upbringing. And the difference between acquired and inherited cultural capital is one of the most important distinctions Bourdieu makes. Next, we have social capital. This is the one that most separates Noemi from the rest because the Mexico traveler has no social capital at the destination. The resort exists precisely to make that unnecessary. Now, Thomas made some connections, or had some existing, but the nature of his travel means that he likely won't be back anytime soon. Whereas Noemi has a socially populated city, people who will meet her for coffee or tell her about the exhibition before it opens. On top of that, Noemi, in the fully aristocratic position, is someone who has populated several cities. London, New York, Paris, Milan are all nodes, and movement between them is movement within a single life rather than separate trips. Now, I want to be careful here because this isn't my personal hierarchy of travel. The Mexico traveler and Thomas aren't making worse choices. All three of them are making the right choice for their positions. The all-inclusive maximizes pleasure per dollar and eliminates cognitive load. It's reliable rest from a working life that requires it. This trip exists for a reason. Thomas is doing the same for his position. He has enough cultural capital to navigate Japan meaningfully, enough money to spend on experiences. And Noemi's unjustified April in Paris is the rational expression for her. She has autonomy over her time, social capital to fulfill her. Coincidentally, I happen to be in Paris as well, but I'm going to make a follow-up to this video on the question of who owns their time in this example. It'll be a good one, so be sure to like and follow and let me know your thoughts in the comments.